What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kind of Funny podcast. I'm your host, Nick Scarpino, surrounded by a lovely group of people, not the least of which, to my right, is Mr. Andy Cortez.
Hey, guys.
And to his immediate right, Barrett Courtney.
Oh, what's up? In the morning show, or not in the morning, the pre-show for this, Andy was talking about getting the urge to order some volcano curry. Great curry place near our house.
Yep.
And he gets, he texted me because he knows I love it.
Of course. Were you in the next room when he did that, by the way?
We're like 2 rooms over.
I respect
like,
that you guys are so lazy that you have to text each other.
Yeah.
It's great. I don't walk out of my
But
room.
when I get these texts, and it's usually once, maybe twice a month, it's like the most exciting time of my month. It's like, oh, Andy like wants to interact at home. What's up?
No,
So-
it's like, no, to me, it's like
I feel
when
the
you're
same way when my wife talks to me at home.
Yeah.
to me, it's like when your mom is like, when you'd be at home and your mom or your dad would just be like, you just want to get pizza tonight? There's no more exciting feeling to me than that.
Yeah.
Like when it's Friday and you think, you know, maybe you're inviting your friends over, you just went to the Freeze Frame or you went to Hollywood Video or All Hit Video and you're going to go rent the latest game, maybe like Mortal Kombat 2 or something like that, Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate Edition. And your mom is like, do you want to order, like, you want to call in and order to Peter Piper? Like, oh my God, this weekend's going to be so fucking dope
Because
right now.
here's what I always feel when I get to the weekends, right? I feel the need, the urgency to do something.
Yeah.
You know, you always got to do, it's the weekend, you got to do something, right? When you were a kid, you felt that same urgency. You didn't really have the means to do something.
Right.
So when mom or dad would go, hey, you know what we're going to do tonight? We're going to order pizza and watch movies. That was it.
Yeah.
I don't need to do anything else for us. This is it. This is the weekend. I'm done.
This analogy is getting totally away from the reality of our situation, though, because it's never like a fun, like, oh, let's hang out in the living room and like we get the volcano curry and then we just go back to our bedroom secluded and don't talk to each other for like another 3 weeks until he texts me again.
Do you guys ever go, hey, I'm watching this thing. Do you guys want to come hang out with me and watch this thing?
No, never. The only time we've ever done that was when we didn't live with each other and you'd come over to watch Better Call Saul.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I had a similar thing happen.
Oh yeah.
Where this weekend Gia is out of town. And Paula is working.
Right.
Crunch. And I got a text from one Tim Gettys.
It's a very exciting time.
You want to get shrimp?
Ooh.
And I was like, yeah, I do.
That's exciting.
These guys and the shrimp.
It's
so weird.
No, I'm not done, Nicholas.
Okay.
We had such a good time. Like, we went there, we had a pitcher of beer, we had some shrimp, and then did we go across the street and get some ice cream? Well, don't tell Paula, but we sure did.
Did you guys go to the shrimp place that we went to the day I got engaged?
Yep.
Gotcha.
It's always that place, man. Go to the place near me and Barrett's place.
Andy,
that is
Andy,
pretty much near our place.
Andy,
it's just down the street.
You like that place because they make fried shrimp better.
But that's why.
We're not getting fried shrimp.
No,
is our thing.
I'm not saying you have to get fried shrimp. Get the same thing you get at this other place.
But I don't know if it's good.
But their offering of their fried offering is far superior to the other place.
We don't get the fried offering.
I know, but just get the other. Here's what I'm saying, Kevin. Here's what I'm saying.
Andy, there's an established relationship.
You want boiled shrimp from this one place that you fucking love. It's a 10 out of 10 for you, right?
Well, and the garlic noodles.
And their fried shrimp offering, fucking negative 18 out of 10, dude. So go to this other place that I like, and maybe their boiled offering is like an 8 out of 10, but their fried offering,
you're not gonna come.
Yeah.
If you go to that, the place I'm talking about, I will absolutely go. Are you kidding me?
You hear that, Nick?
I was not listening.
I'm gonna call you if he doesn't come.
Oh my God! I would love to go. Dude.
All right, I'll throw
it's
this
literally
out there.
like
I'll throw this out there.
This episode of the Kind of Funny podcast, by the way, is brought to you by Zebit and Upstart, but we'll get to those ad reads a little bit later. Before we do that, though, do want to give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers for this month: George Lopez, Mark Stravaggi, Karen O'Donnell, DJ Kento, and Sam Davis. You guys are all the best of the best. If you want to support this show, you can do it a number of different ways, but the best is going over to patreon.com/kindoffunny and backing us at any of those tiers, because any little bit counts, helps pays everyone's salary, helps keep us flush with Diet Cokes.
Oh, you nailed the Stravaggi, by the way.
Stravaggi.
Because I know that Greg and I were kind of wondering, is it Starvaggi? And he tweeted me.
It's Starvaggi.
Like, it's a soft
two
G.
G's together.
Soft
G.
GG's.
If it was Starvaggi, it would. I think there needs to be an H in it. So it's GHI is how you say the G. G. Anyway, what is it with you guys in this shrimp? Why is shrimp the new jam?
It's not the new thing. It's just shrimps. I've been addicted to shrimp my whole life. Dude.
Yeah.
Like shrimp has always been a staple where it goes back to looking at Red Lobster as a once every 6 months sort of thing, you know?
We should go to Red Lobster for lunch tomorrow.
Red Lobster was like this place that we went to because it was like more expensive and more upscale, right?
Oh, it was like
to my family and shit like that. So that's why like once a year,
they sold lobster there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Do you understand the Scarpinos? When I was growing up, lobster? Are you kidding me? Elena, get the hell out of here. Elena Scarpino's not spending that kind of money on a fish. You want a fish? You're gonna go to the freezer. You're gonna thaw out some fish cutlets.
There you go.
And you're gonna microwave those things yourself. That's what you're gonna do.
Fish sticks. We also
had fish sticks. We didn't really do anything that was too outside of the realm of like normal. But lobster would have been like, get out of here.
Oh yeah. So like once a year, it's my birthday, it's my brother's birthday. We're going to Red Lobster.
Yeah,
that was our destination because we just didn't go to that place very often. It's too expensive for us, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like to bring that many people, you know.
Oh, forget about it. Tell you this though. This is why I say we should go to Red Lobster. Kevin, what do they have at Red Lobster? What do they give you free at Red Lobster?
The
cheddar bay
the biscuits. And those are freaking fantastic.
Well, that's still a KFA that we're supposed to do.
We're gonna do it one day. Well, I want to tell everyone the story of when Meg Turney came to do content with us, and we were like, "Do you want to go to Red Lobster?" And she said yes, and it was one of the best lunches we've ever had.
It was fantastic.
It was. You got some sort of Alfredo dish that you didn't particularly care about. Yeah. It was gross, but the cheddar biscuits were fantastic, and it just felt like we felt like we were pretending to be bigwigs around Meg Turney. Because we took her to Red Lobster. That's what I felt. I don't know if that's how you felt.
Instead of like Buffalo Wild Wings or something like that.
We did the same with Gerard from Completionist.
That's right. We took him, and then you made the same mistake again. You ordered the same thing, didn't you? You got the wrong.
No, I did that at Olive Garden one time with Andrea.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Man, maybe you just don't like Alfredo sauce. Maybe you just don't like pasta Alfredo.
It's because I want every shrimp-related thing to be similar to the dish that my aunt makes. Yeah. My aunt and my mom make shrimp linguine.
Ooh.
And it is... the noodles, it is fucking like boiled shrimp, but it is just covered in garlic and lemon. And it's man, my mouth's watering just thinking about it.
That just sounds great.
Yeah, and with the little bread, you get the little Texas toast.
A little Texas toast. Little Texas two-step toast.
It's my favorite dish, too. It would be my, hey, you are...
last meal.
You're on the deathbed right now. Yeah, what do they call it?
Last meal.
Deathbed? Death chair? Death angel?
Well, let's put it this way. Well, one's something that most people die on. One you die on if you committed a heinous crime, and the other one is an obscure band that Kevin swears by.
Swears by.
Dude, you guys know how much I love Death Angel?
Anyway, so shrimp. I fucking love shrimp.
He hates us so much.
He does. But they get the boiled style. They get this sort of Cajun where you just have a bowl.
Oh yeah.
And you're peeling it and doing the thing.
You got the paper. You put it on like newspaper or whatever it is.
I happen to be like I love all sorts of shrimp. I just don't want to get that messy with it.
I don't want to. Here's my thing. It's interesting and kind of fun for the first couple shrimp when you got to peel them yourself, you know, when they got the legs and all that stuff, you got to peel them yourself. It's a novelty. Yeah. But after the first one, I'm like, can someone else come do this for me?
Yeah,
I've had enough. Still has the head on it.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No, get out of
it's the same with
the head and suck the juice out.
It's the same with when you go to shabu shabu or like some sort of barbecue where you have to cook the food yourself.
Oh, it's so fun though.
It's so quick. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Remember? Hold on. Sorry, like non sequitur. Remember we went to Let's Play Reunion?
Sure.
And we went to that Korean barbecue place, and we were like, "What do we do?" Like,
dude, that place
we were trying to figure out if we were supposed to cook something or not cook something. And so we had we had a dish delivered. We could not figure out if we were supposed to cook it or not cook it. And the service of this place was not great. We'll just put it that way.
Horrible.
They were not loving us.
Okay.
And let's put it this way, the feeling was mutual. We were not enjoying them. They were not
enjoying
us.
It was Sugar Pine, it was Funhouse, it was Achievement.
It was a bunch of loud room of us,
bunch of white shit.
And the people who were working there were just right off the get-go, like, we don't dig this. They're not communicating with us. We're not communicating with them. Done. They dropped this dish off, and I think it was a meat dish.
Yeah.
And I think it was me and Kevin and Andy and Tim and Greg, and we were trying to figure out if we were supposed to cook it or not. Okay. But no one was around to ask. So we figured out, you know what we're going to do is we're going to cook half of it.
And then we're going to eat the other half raw.
And then leave the other half raw and see what happens. And I think what ended up happening was we were supposed to leave it raw, right, Kev?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh no, like someone at like 20 minutes in shuffled over and was like, no.
You're not supposed to
cook that. And we were like, put up a sign with some pictures.
Was it like an
or
urgent
something.
thing? Like if you ate it cooked, like
it was just it was already cooked, or it was like a tartare or something that wasn't supposed to be cooked. But I'll tell you what, I ate the fucking cooked thing. It was fine.
It was good.
I ate both versions.
I just don't like when you walk away from.
Clarified.
Yeah, Kevin doesn't care. Kevin's got he's got the stomach of a dog.
Yeah,
you know, he can eat his own shit. It won't matter. It'll come right back out, dialed in, build it back up into the meal, serve it again at the table.
What is wrong with you?
Man.
I just don't. Here's the thing. I just don't love. It's a fun experience, but then you walk away from those pot places and your clothes just smell like it because the steam is just. You got to wash your pants the next day.
Yeah,
and I don't like washing my jeans.
That,
I wore the same pair of jeans for like 3-4 days in a row.
I dated a girl once who worked at a sort of a hibachi place.
Yeah,
and it was called Tokyo Sushi or some shit like that. But they did the hibachi style that I love. One of my favorite. Again, my second deathbed meal when I die a second time, Kevin, would be hibachi style steak and shrimp.
Maybe can I ask you a question? Go dialing it back 1 second. In your fantasy, do you die the first time, but then right at the last second, someone like you're like make a miraculous recovery?
They're like, he was innocent.
He was. Oh my god, he was innocent. Yeah. So you get out, and then all of a sudden you're like this. You can't convict me of the same crime twice. So you kill the person, and they're like, "Whoa, we actually can." Yeah, you like Double Jeopardy.
Yeah, I get revenge.
Actually, judge.
Yeah, exactly.
I imagined it like he actually rose like Jesus 3 days later.
Yeah,
just like completely somewhere else, and
like,
someone recognized it. Was like, wait, he's totally alive.
We have to kill you again. Yeah. So she worked at this hibachi style place, and every day she would come home from work, and she would always tell me, don't come over to my place yet. I have to shower and like put my clothes in the washer because like the whole apartment just starts to smell because of her.
Oh yeah,
the clothing that she would wear.
I mean, you're literally aerating the smell.
Yeah, exactly.
You're piping the smell via steam into the air.
Smell. I love that.
You just came like, did you do the thing where like she's like, okay, she's like, I gotta hop in the shower. You go, okay, cool, and then you dive into her hamper and you go.
I mean, that's weird.
Nah, that's a little
Cool Greg just made a look that was like. Cool Greg makes a lot of looks at you, but that was definitely
most of the looks that Cool Greg makes at me are befuddlement, where he's just like confused by what I'm saying.
Sure.
That one I just felt was disgust.
Yeah.
You know, I just felt like it was like, ew, that's
exactly
a little too much.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I used to when I was a cook. I used to. I just wasn't aware of it when I was a cook. I used to reak of garlic. Because we used to have to chop up garlic, but not when you get it on your hands and it's nauseating because it can cause headaches. If you have too much garlic. So I just start wearing gloves, and the rest of the cooks used to make fun of me. And I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to fucking live this cook life. I go away from this place. I don't think ever about this place again. I come back to this. This is just the moneymaker.
Greg and Jen made me the shrimp linguine that I so crave once.
Yeah.
And they haven't made it for me since. And it's kind of like, what sort of messages are they sending me?
I think that they don't like you. I think they brought you over maybe to rob you or just to see if they'd like you, like a trial period. Maybe you could be their special friend or whatever.
Oh, gotcha.
And it just it didn't work.
But still,
out.
at the end of the day, Greg's a great guy.
Greg is a perfect human being.
Good person.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of people say that, like, you know how they say like we're all moving toward like all the cultures and all the ethnicities like inbreeding, and then it's gonna create the perfect human in like 1,000 years. We're all gonna look exactly the same.
Sure.
Greg is that guy right now. Okay. Minus all of the perfection stuff. Like,
Kevin, can you Google an image of shrimp linguine? I just want to look at it real quick.
Have yet to ever eat shrimp or lobster.
You never eaten shrimp?
Wait, ever?
No.
Well, he was allergic to.
Well, when I was growing up, I was told that I was allergic to shellfish and most seafood.
Oh,
so
that's that's a very real allergy.
That was a lie, right?
Kevin,
no, it wasn't a lie.
Fuck, this looks amazing.
The fifth photo from the top left, I guess, like either one of those in the middle are like ideal. Bring up the one on the right.
Yeah.
Like,
it's hot.
Yeah.
Like, and I could do without the Parmesan.
Oh,
I could do without the Parmesan.
No.
I could do without the Parmesan.
It gives it thickness.
Maybe it's a different taste though. It like changes the flavor profile.
It gives it girth.
Like you want that lemon, you want that garlic taste. And speaking of like, you said how your fingers would smell like garlic. When my aunt or my mom makes this dish, the whole house just smells. You walk in, it's just you get hit by the smell, but it's so good, dude.
My mom used to make her sauce like
good.
once a week. She'd make a big thing of sauce. And when I come home from high school, you'd open the door and it would just the whole house would smell like garlic and onions, and you'd hear that like, you know, someone in the kitchen, and I would just drop my stuff off and be like, I'm gonna fucking
that there's some fun being had
tonight. Oh my God.
The closest I ever got to that was when my parents were out of town one weekend, and I decided to make weed brownies in my oven.
Cool.
Yeah, and
whole house smelled like weed for a while.
Oh yeah.
Parents catch you?
No, they were gone for like a week, so I was able to air the fuck out of that place for a couple days.
Did you guys party when your parents would leave?
Oh, all the time.
No.
You never did?
No.
Dude.
I would go to other people's houses when their parents are gone.
Yeah.
When my parents are gone, like my parents were like weirdly trusting of me, knowing that I hung out with a lot of people, a lot of friends my age that were always getting caught with like either drinking or drugs or whatever. And by drugs, just weed or whatever. But my I was always way too scared to do that shit. Like the most I ever did was invite friends over and we would just play video games. Like I never did like the house party because they're like fucking PIs, dude. Like my mom can smell and notice anything that's wrong. My dad, like fucking, they have a keen eye, and I knew that like if I try anything, I'm gonna get caught.
We used to obviously having a brother who was 5 years older, and you've all met Matt Scarpino.
Oh yes.
We used to throw raging parties. My parents would go away on a Vegas trip every year with their friends.
That's fun.
It was great for them, more fun for us. They would go for 3 days, and all of their kids and us would get together at our house because we had a pool. We were the only family that had a pool, and we would just throw. I mean, there would just be so many people at these parties.
How big was this pool?
I mean, it's a normal kidney shaped, maybe 20 feet, 25 feet.
Nice.
In length.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a decent size. I mean, we weren't like doing laps in it. We were getting hammered and
hanging out.
It was, Riverside, California in the midsummer. So at night it was still 80 degrees outside. You're sweating because you're drinking nothing but fucking like Michelob or Coors Light on ice, and it's just making you even hotter. And you're just getting in that pool, just hanging out at night, hoping God, please don't drown. If my head dunks above water, I don't know if I have the wherewithal to get it back above. But no, what was always awesome is my mom always knew. She was always cool. She was like, I think past a certain point, she was always like, I knew. I just didn't want you guys driving anywhere. I knew you all were gonna party. I knew you guys were going to do whatever you were going to do because you're all idiots.
Yeah.
But I just wanted you guys to stay at the place. But we always wondered how she knew. And then it dawned on us one day that we would throw all the bottles away in the garbage. And so when she'd take the garbage, she'd go to take the garbage out. Yeah. It sounded like Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And she would figure that out. But we also knew that she knew because she would cook like hella stuff for us and leave us with, she's like, I'll let you guys some food in the refrigerator, and we'd open up the fridge, stacked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way my brother and I
awesome.
could eat this stuff. So she'd leave us trays of lasagna. She'd leave us like dip that she would make 7-layer dips for us because she knew everyone was coming over. And my mom's hilarious because she likes two things. One, yelling at you when you've done something wrong. And two, being the house that has the good food. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so it was like these two entities of her.
Yeah,
that were
so she knew, she was like, if I give them the food, people will come over. That'll fulfill number 2, which is being the house has good food. And then when they throw the party, I get to yell at them at the end.
There you go.
So my mom was like an evil genius growing up.
Did she yell at you a bunch?
She would say you're not supposed to do that, and she'd yell, but we never got grounded
Gotcha.
because no one ever got hurt.
Right.
And so past a certain point when you're 16, 17, 18, I think that's when your parents need to go like, let's give them enough rope to hang themselves with.
Yeah.
And if nothing happens, like maybe they are being responsible. Because let's call a spade a spade. My brother found alcohol and he was like, I'm not stopping. And so I think my parents figured out that we need to give them enough responsibility with this so that they can treat drugs and alcohol the way, like recreationally, the way they're supposed to be treated, which is don't overdo it, don't drive, don't do this. My brother had a couple issues here and there, but as did I, but like nothing serious, thank God.
And you guys found it out at the end of the day.
And we figured it out,
Yeah.
and we can use that stuff responsibly now, with the exception of the cocaine, which we just don't do. We just don't do, period.
Yeah. Oh no, never at all.
Good save.
My mom would always, growing up, she would always tell me the stories of her throwing house parties because she was the one who would host them all the time.
Oh yeah.
And I think she told me those to kind of like scare me into never doing them because like some of those stories included my dad who was high off of something, like laughing and like slamming his head down on the table and like losing his front
Breaking his
tooth
teeth,
and stuff.
yeah.
And
I mean, we had my friends were always, because my friends came from like the international baccalaureate program and like the advanced placement classes and marching band. We were not the most impulsive people. We would go, hey, we want to party and we want to have fun. And yes, we would drink when we were underage and we would do stuff like that, but there was never a recklessness to it. It was always like, we're just gonna have fun. And yeah, you'd overdo it, you'd throw up or whatever. I told the story, I think 2 podcasts ago, my buddy Stu throwing up Philadelphia cheesesteak Hot Pockets all over my room and totally ruining one of those like cotton comforters that we had. It was terrible. But like, that's the worst that would happen. My brother's friends, on the other hand, were
the wild ones.
Like, I would look at him and be like, that dude's going to jail. That dude's going to jail. That dude's probably already knocked up 2 girls. That dude's going to jail. Like, they would do the things where they'd get super high and try and figure out how far off of the roof they would have to be to jump to make it into the pool. Like, that's the kind of stupid shit they would do. Which was like a dare, like, I dare you to go a little bit farther back. I'm like, at some point, someone's losing this Russian roulette game, right? They're going to crack their fucking head open. Yeah. And we're going to have to just move them out to the middle of the street, pretend like we never knew them.
Yeah, luckily we never really had...
Like, move out of the street, pretend like they fall off the curb. We don't know these guys.
Luckily we never had issues like that. It was always very kind of... chill. My buddy, Javi, he was like... His family was the better off of all of our families. His dad was like a judge and shit like that. So he had a really nice house, giant backyard.
But was he like, because his dad was a judge, was he crazy?
No.
Oh, okay, so he was just normal.
No. Yeah. They're all chill. They're all like really. All of his sons were really good. I was in a band with him and his older brother, and when the parents were out of town, it was like, oh, let's we would throw a house party. We'd play like cover songs or whatever the fuck, and there was always a pool, and there was beer and shit like that. But I was always like kind of too scared to get involved, just because I was always so scared of getting caught and letting my parents down. Yeah, I was always the one who never underage drank. Like I was always like,
oh god,
until I kind of like moved to Austin. That's when I started getting more into it.
What age were you when you had your first drink? Do you remember?
Well, like
real drink. I don't mean like, oh, I tasted beer when I was 13 at my uncle's party.
Nah, I was probably like,
I mean like, let's get fucked up.
I was
and,
like
regret this
17, maybe 16 or 17.
That's pretty late.
Yeah. Like I would try beer here and there, but the first time that I got like super drunk and vomited, I was like maybe 16 or 17.
Yeah, that's a good age.
But I only ever did it when I knew I was staying at a person's place and their parents were not going to be there. That's the only time I ever felt super comfortable.
Yeah, that was the same with me and like weed, right? I would like when I first smoked, it was I'm spending the night at my friend's house, and actually his parents were there, but I knew we would just walk. We just walked up the street to this lot. And we did it 2 or 3 times, and it was that thing where I was like, this is not affecting me. Maybe I'm a superhuman, right? I'd always thought that I was a superhuman. And this is like when it was going to kick in.
Maybe you still are.
Like my mutant power would kick in. And then there was the 3rd time.
Yep, there you go.
We smoked, and it was the whole world just went like this. Whoa, 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 whoa. And time kind of stood still, and then I realized I was back in his room. And I was eating all of his mom's rice cakes. Like his mom had, this is like when rice cakes had hit the market, and they were like, they're like flavored caramel rice cakes, the little tiny ones.
Choice.
And the next morning, I remember waking up going like, am I still, oh, I'm fine. I felt fine. And his mom was like, who the fuck ate all the rice cakes? Who was it? And I was like, it was me. Luckily, I was super fat when I was in high school. So she was like, he's just nothing. He's just a fat kid. Yeah. That's what it was.
I was never scared. Like I told my mom, like, I think in sophomore year that I was smoking and all that stuff. But the thing that staved me off of alcohol for a while was because Bay Area, like high schoolers are always going out to the beach doing bonfires and stuff. There's a day where I had. In one day, it was my mom's birthday, and like I had brunch with her that day, and then she was like, all right, fuck off, like I'm gonna go like hang out with my friends. And so I was left to my own devices. And in that day, I had 3 Four Locos before they were recalled.
Yeah, because they like killed people.
Yeah,
they put people in comas.
Before they were nerfed.
And then I went home later that night, and
Alex disease.
Sorry. The way our apartment is set up, like my bedroom was right next to the front door, so I could have just easily like gone into my bedroom and whatnot. But I was so like upset about something that I like needed to go upstairs. All the way upstairs to like the balcony where my mom was hanging out with her friends. I was like, Mom, and she immediately was like, are you drunk?
Yeah, you're
hammered. But that's besides the point.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit.
And she wasn't even like that upset. She was more amused that night. And she's like, all right, you're gonna drink like fucking 7 glasses of water before you go to bed.
Yeah.
And then the next day she like went in like totally talking way too loud. She's like, hey, how you doing? how you feeling? I was like, oh, pretty great. I don't get hangovers. She was like, oh, so last night wasn't your first time. I was like, oh, kind of ratted myself out there. But
damn, she outsmarted you like a fucking genius.
Yeah. But yeah, it was because she knew, like every story I would tell her, she would always follow up with like, that's cute. Let me tell you about this shit that I used to do.
Yeah.
And so like, I never felt like super, scared to like tell her things, especially because if there was ever a line, I would probably tell her that I would cross, and then she would probably be like, okay, like you need to calm the fuck down.
Let's talk about that. Yeah.
I think. Go ahead. I was gonna just talk about. There was always something really cool and exciting about when I was in my band playing random house shows around places in the valley.
I wish I'd have known you back then. I bet Andy was so cool.
It was just such a kind of scary yet exciting thing where like, oh, we're gonna go play the show in Alamo or in Edinburgh or whatever, and it's like, and I wouldn't know, like you just had no idea how the night was gonna go because sometimes you get there and it's someone's house and they have a decent setup and you just set up your shit and there's like a lot of beer, and sometimes it's like in this weird sort of dark area of a city where there is no housing. It's just a bunch of cars parked around with like a generator.
It's like a Fall Out Boy video. It sounds awesome.
It was always really cool and exciting, like, going out to these random shows, not knowing what the hell was going to happen, not knowing when you were going to get home, not knowing like, am I going to get fucked up after the show? Am I going to try to drink, or are we just going to do the show and bounce? Like what? Oh, these guys are here. Oh, we've played shows with them before. Cool, let's go talk. You know, like it was always a really cool kind of communal experience.
That's similar. I mean, obviously, you had a lot more probably excitement in it, but that's why one of the reasons why I love comedy is because it's that same thing where you walk, you're like, I don't know how it's going to go. Is the audience going to be there tonight? Who's going to be with me on the lineup? Who do I get to hang out with in the green room? Is there going to be a green room? Is the green room a fucking closet that they've converted that I'm going to hit my head on?
Yeah.
Like, is there the mic? And, you know, so you get all the excitement of, is this going to be something special that all of us are having together? Or is this going to be a fight, literally and metaphorically speaking? And then I got to get the fuck home and never do this again.
Yeah.
That's like, is the crowd going to be into it? Are they going to be drunk? What's this? Is there a stage? Well, you know, there's a lot of variables. And there was this one moment that I'll never forget where we were at we were playing inside of a house, and it was kind of like a giant empty room. And everybody was drinking in the other areas of the house or whatever. But when they came in to play the show, we played the show, and it was like fucking awesome. Everybody was drunk. It was like a really fucking fun show. And then there got to a point where I kind of lost track of where everybody else in my band was. And I remember, and bear in mind, there's no Uber, there's like no taxis or anything like that. I wasn't driving at the time. I didn't have a car at the time. And I remember like kind of being at this house show being like, how the fuck am I going to get home? Where is everybody?
Right.
And like, I remember texting them and then being like, oh yeah, we just went over here real quick. Like, well, where, like, and I just remember feeling fear of like, what do I do?
Yeah,
like,
what the hell do I do?
I'm stuck at this party. I don't know.
Like, I got to make friends with the people that live here because I now live here. I now live in this house.
It was always very scary. Yeah.
You got to be, it always fucking blew my mind when I'd go to a house party. And I didn't go to that many house parties when I was in high school because I was a nerd and nobody really gave a shit. Like, I would party with my friends.
Yeah.
Or I would go party with like the theater people. But I never went to like legit, like, whoa, these people don't even have parents. Or if they do, they don't give a fuck. Right. Like they're on that level. But everyone, like, I think I went to like 2. And it would always blow my mind when someone would have the balls to get a band. Because I'm like, you are asking for the cops to come to this house. And that was always the response. Like, I grew up being, I don't want to say the responsible one, but my brother was always the sort of devil may care person because he was like the tip of the spear. And so I got a lot of the luxury of learning from his mistakes, of being like, oh, it's silly to think that like high school kids aren't going to experiment with this stuff. But I always saw what he did. I was like, oh, there's a better way to do this. And that's like, have a designated driver. Don't overdo it. Make sure you're watching out for each other, things like that. So I would obviously be naturally, and it's going to come as a shock to everyone here, but I was always the natural paranoid one where I was like, I don't want the cops to get called. I don't want to deal with cops right now.
That's what I was
and
me.
So you'd walk in and you see like thumping music or a house, or like a band. I'd be like, dude, you are asking for your neighbors who, and you know, it's suburbs. So it's like pitch quiet outside. You're
exactly.
Light them up, you know? Like, okay.
I can't believe this was
the great band.
Fucking 80s.
No, I mean, that wasn't even, it was the 90s. How dare you?
You're old.
But that was always part of the fun of like, you knew the house party, especially in college. So when we would throw parties in college, it was just a matter of time. That thing wasn't going to go on forever. Yeah. And to a certain point where when I was in college, we would throw parties knowing that at a certain point, the cops were going to get called, and that was going to be how the party ended. So
and it was only like it was just figuring out how long to elongate them.
Yeah, how can we get to the point? And like we would have it to the point. Like I remember, I had friends that lived in Newport Beach, and they would have a different person. They had 3 roommates, and there was always a new person in the house. So like one person would leave, they'd graduate or whatever, and then they'd bring in the next person who was like a freshman or sophomore. And that person's duty was always to have to answer the door because he would be the new guy. And they would be like, do you live here? And yes, let me see your ID. And it would be a different ID than the person that answered before. So they would give him the warning, as opposed to if you answered it 3 or 4 times, then you got the ticket.
Right.
They'd be like, here's a noise ordinance ticket. And so they figured out that if they could do that, at a certain point, the guy, they met the one cop that was like, fuck you, you're getting a ticket. Everyone get the fuck out. But yeah, they figured out how to game the system. Like, and he just did stupid shit like that. Until I realized that, oh my God, there's places once you hit 21, it's different. Because once you hit 21, you go, oh, there's a place I can go where we can party till 2 a.m. and it's called a bar. We can just go to a bar.
Exactly.
And that's where everyone goes.
And that's when you get grandfathered out of those parties, because if you get caught at one of those, then you are responsible.
You are the one who bought the underage people the alcohol probably, and they're going to throw your ass in jail or give you a real big ticket or a misdemeanor.
There was a friend of mine, we were all underage drinking or whatever. And actually, you know what? I wasn't even at this party. Because that's how scared I was.
Is it like the time that y'all told me the story of the pickles and I just included myself in the retelling of that?
No, but this is just one of those stories where I won't name names. I haven't talked to them in ages, but I just don't want to put their names out there.
It's probably better not to do this.
But one of them,
I'm sure the statute of limitations up on this.
One of them was handcuffed and put in the back of a police trooper in the back of a police car because they were kind of throwing the party and they had. Actually, I don't even know if they were handcuffed. They were just put in the back of the car because they were supplying the beer and there was underage people there. And I think they were even underage at the time. And then another one of my friends, while the door was closed, snuck up to the police car, opened the door.
Why?
They escaped.
Why?
And Senator Cool Greg just gave me the nod of approval.
Yeah, dude.
That's a terrible idea.
Yeah, yep. And I don't remember like the exact outcome of that. I just remember hearing this story and being like, why would he fucking do that? Like, and I was really good friends with him at the time.
Yeah.
But I don't talk to him that much anymore just because time.
See, this is how I know I could never be a police officer, right, Cool G? I could never be a cop. Because if some kid did that, I would be like, that is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. I would be like Seth Rogen in Superbad. And David Hayter. I'd be like,
just hang out with him.
I'd be like, this kid's great. Let's just let him go.
No,
Let's
actually,
give him a
he
pass.
was handcuffed because I remember the details of like him struggling to get out of the car, like with his hands behind his back.
Terrible idea. That's a terrible idea. That is what is that? That's like resisting arrest, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
that's like that's not a good thing.
So fucking funny, dude.
Man, could you imagine trying to explain that to your parents? All right, so we thought it'd be funny.
Yeah.
If Andy opened the door and I escaped.
It's so stupid.
We thought it was a good idea at the time. The biggest party I've ever been to, it was another bonfire party. And I think this was like 2012. And I think it's still to this day the biggest bonfire party in San Francisco.
Sweet.
Where I'm pretty sure it was like right after, like, it was either like a couple weeks into summer or something. And I kid you not, almost every single high schooler in San Francisco was at this fucking thing.
That's awesome.
Like we were going, like the party stretched like a mile. And so when the police showed up, the police were also just hanging out there for like hours. And we're not scared because it's like there are so many of us.
Like, what are they going to do? Call in like every cop in San Francisco to shut this party down?
And still there would be not enough.
No. That's like trying to shut down Coachella. You're like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. It was the most ridiculous thing. It was like one of my friends who had like brought it together.
Yes, Kevin, I understand the references. The kid references.
Right.
The cool kid references.
Coachell's been around forever.
The scariest like bust up that we've ever had was like it was a way smaller party, but there's still a significant amount of us. And usually when the cops come to the beach, they'll like they'll pull up, they'll have the lights flashing and stuff. But this one, we did not even get a heads up that the cops were there. They didn't even put on their lights when they pulled up. They like pulled up, no lights on, walked into the middle of the group, and then started flashing their flashlights, and everybody like scattered. It was the craziest
cops get off on that shit. If I was a cop, I'd fucking love that.
We like separated from the group because we wanted to smoke weed, but we didn't want to share any. So we're just like, we looked over and we're like, oh, what is happening? It felt like the apocalypse. Almost.
Oh, that's a terrible
The reaction
feeling.
to it, at least. It was fucking hilarious.
No.
Yeah, I've always been I have like such vivid memories of being at parties and like seeing flashlights over the fences.
Yeah.
Oh, I was at a party one time where we were all outside, and it freaked us the fuck out because we looked over and the house was pitch black, but there were flashlights in it. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, is the house getting robbed? And then 2 cops popped out onto the balcony, and they're like, you guys are being too loud, shut up. Basically, that was all that happened. But it was like, I was like, what the fuck is going on in there? And I'm like, do I remember any of my Kempo from when I was 13? No, I don't. I don't remember any. That was big boy Nick. That was when Nick was like 260, hanging out. I was probably on my 50th cigarette of that night, just being like, oh no, I don't know what to do here. I definitely can't make it over that wall. So I just gotta give in to whatever this is. God. I mean, like, it's funny because I am no doubt, I mean, way healthier than I've ever been in my entire life at this moment. Like I work out more, I eat better, I don't drink that much, and I certainly don't smoke anymore. But when I see people in that time in their life, oh man, it brings me back.
Yeah,
I miss it a little bit, just a little bit. Of course you do,
yeah,
a little bit. Because it was that
dangerous.
Well, it was that anything can happen time, and like I'm in a time in my life where anything can't happen. Like there's certain things that I just don't happen. It can't happen to me, right? I will not get arrested. That's not going to happen. I know that for the most part, every night I'm going home to the same place and the same person, which is great. That's that's the life that I've designed for myself. But there was those times in your early 20s, mid 20s, when you're just a new place. You know, you go out with these new group of friends, these guys that you're vibing with heavily, and it's just what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And 99% of the time, it was let's sleep in the back of Tyroot's car because Tyroot was our designated driver and he's nowhere to be seen. We could not find him at the end of the night because, of course, he'd get drunk and hook up with someone, and we'd all be like, "Fuck!" And someone had his keys, so we were like, "I guess we'll just sleep in the back of his car or something."
Yeah.
But yeah, every once in a while, you'd have one of those magical nights, and it would be great.
Yeah, I'm in that transitioning period, definitely, because I spent a lot of those years in my high school years, so I felt like I got a lot of the partying out in those 4 years. Especially,
I'd say you've transitioned. I don't know if you're transitioning still.
Well, you have a fiance, so
yes, I do. So yeah, I'm in those steps, but yeah, it was like I got all of that out in high school, especially in my senior year, where like I had my first panic attack, and ever since then, I have not been able to smoke weed. And then before the comments were like, "Oh, what strand, sativa or indica?" Trust me, I've already had that conversation with my mother, and it's like all the fucking doesn't matter what strand. Like
the one thing I've learned about weed, and I don't have too much experience with it because I was never.
Sorry, I just want to take a second. You sound such like a cop when you say
Listen,
weed.
Guys, the one thing I understand about the marijuana, the thing about weed with me is it just never took. I've never been high to the point, because I've smoked a lot of weed in my life, but I've never been high to the point where I'm like, I love this. I just smoke and I go, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I just think it's honestly because different people, obviously everyone's different. Everyone has different chemistry in their bodies and their brains, and it affects people differently. Because I have friends that just love it. They just love it. They can't, it's to them, it is a staple in their life. It helps ease the anxiety. It helps ease all the social issues or social anxiety they have. And if you're one of those people out there and you can medicate like that or self-medicate like that, great. But I kind of feel like I missed out.
Yeah, you do.
Alcohol, I'm like, let's go. Okay. Alcohol was always my drug of choice just because I knew how much I could have. I knew how much all my friends could have. It's legal. I knew I could go to this one place, especially when I moved into the city. I knew I could go to bars and have a great time, and that no matter what, I could hop on one of those ZL cabs and I'd be home in like 10 minutes. And if I was hurting, I was throwing up. But if not, if I had the wherewithal, I had a burrito with me, like a little fucking football, and I was going to carry that thing past, right into the end zone.
Herschel Walker.
You know what I mean? It's like a fucking... The Heisman.
Emmett Smith.
Yeah, Emmett Smith.
All sorts of sports.
Joe Montana. John Elway. But yeah, weed I never got into. Even to this day, like every once in a while, I'll try I'll smoke here and there. And I tried to get into like CBD for like anxiety, and it just doesn't work for me. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know what there was some sort of personality change definitely when I was going out of high school, because it was the opposite for me for high school, where it was like, weed was the thing that I latched onto, and it helps me with some of those things, and it helps me feel like I could let go, because a lot of my the struggles I have with my personality is not feeling in control, and that's why I am a terrible passenger in a car that I am not controlling, especially when Kevin is driving.
No, okay,
no, I'm giving a shit.
To be fair, Kevin is a special case. Kevin is not like normal people. Kevin actually enjoys driving.
How much he scares you.
Yeah, how much he scares you. He does. He'll say that he doesn't, But there's a little sick part of him.
I've never said
a little sick part of him that like enjoys
how much you guys get scared.
How he's almost ping ponging himself.
But it's because I'm a very good driver.
I've noticed Barrett when I take
when
you
drive,
home,
even like I'm fucking like
holding
on.
There'll just be a small moment where I'm like I have to brake a little bit, and he'll like kind of like brace for it or whatever. And that's the thing is like I'm a fine passenger in anybody's car. Except for Kevin. The
only person that I am fine with driving is weirdly enough my dad, because he also drives kind of like an old grandfather. My mother's words.
I feel like you'd be fine driving with me then too.
I haven't found any trouble with you.
All the time.
I don't know.
The times that I've driven with you, you haven't been terrible. I haven't noticed anything.
I pride myself on how safe a driver I am, but just like your grandparents, I drive slow and occasionally have lapses of judgment, and I'll blow back. It's because the lights on this street, some of them shouldn't be there, and some of them need lights.
No, but
it's just odd.
There have been moments where like
twice it's happened. I accidentally ran a red light.
Not even that.
Twice, and it's always you two idiots are in the car with me when it happens.
It's just like
I hate it.
There's been moments where like a car will honk at you, and you feel like, what the fuck's wrong with you? But it's like your fault. And I just don't say anything.
Oh man. But
it is wait, before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a second to tell you about our sponsors. Hey everyone, want to take a second to tell you about our sponsors, the first of which is Zebbit. Listen, no one likes zero of anything. Like when you break your phone and lose contact with the outside world, zero calls, zero texts, zero social media. Honestly, life without a phone means pretty much zero everything. Having zero of anything is hardly ever a good thing unless you're talking about Zebbit. That's Z-E-B-I-T. They'll change your whole perspective on zero forever. This is a great service. This is what I like about this service. No sign-up fees. That's what I like about that. No sign of. I don't like anything that makes you give you money before you try the thing. Not a good thing. Zebbit also provides a better credit option for those who need it. They allow you to buy what you need and pay over time, interest-free. With Zebbit, there's no cost to join, no membership fees, and no late fees. Zebbit does not check your credit, and your Zebbit account does not affect your credit score. Zebbit has everything in everyday items at everyday prices. They have more than 50,000 products in their marketplace with brands like Xbox, Sony, Apple, GoPro, and Fitbit. From electronics to barbecues, furniture, and more, Zebbit has everything you need for when you need it. Zebbit also has a 5-star rating on Trustpilot, and so that means they've earned the trust of more than 1 million customers who shop on Zebbit. Here's how you take advantage of this. Sign up for Zebbit today at zebbit.com/kinda and get up to $2,500 credit to shop the Zebbit marketplace at zero interest and zero cost to join. That's ZEBIT.com/kinda. for up to $2,500 of interest-free credit. Zebbit.com/kinda. Next up, we have Upstart. As most of us have found out the hard way, getting into debt is easy. Getting out is hard, especially if your FICO score isn't great. Thankfully, now there's Upstart.com, the revolutionary lending platform that knows you're more than just your credit score and offers a smarter interest rate to help you pay off high-interest credit card debt. Tell you what, had a couple of relatives. We're not going to point fingers. We're not going to name names. That got into debt very early on in their early 20s and had a hard time climbing out of that. And I think they could have definitely used Upstart to get themselves free of that stuff, because it is not fun to try to do that. Upstart goes beyond the traditional FICO score when assessing your credit worthiness. They actually reward you based on your education and job history in the form of a smarter interest rate. Upstart believes you're more than just your credit score. They believe in you and they understand that. They make it fast, simple, and easy to check your rate in just a few minutes without affecting your credit score. The best part, once the loan is approved, most people get their funds the very next business day, the next day. Over 200,000 people have used Upstart to pay off credit cards, student loans, fund their wedding, or to make large purchases. Free yourself from the burden of high-interest credit card debt by consolidating everything into one monthly payment with Upstart. See why Upstart is ranked #1 in their category with over 300 businesses on Trustpilot. And hurry to upstart.com/kindafunny to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes and won't affect your credit. That's upstart.com/kindafunny. Now back to the podcast. All right, we're good. God Listen, okay. I drive a lot. I drive everyone everywhere.
No, but
me
like,
and Kevin, this is the problem. You can't criticize me or Kevin because we're the only ones that drive anywhere.
But he
Tim doesn't even know how to drive.
Yeah,
he does it purposely.
I do it purposely. Like I'm well aware.
When I first moved to San Francisco, and like it was me, you, and Sean Pinch in the truck.
It was Sean. Like,
and you gave me it was like the worst first impression I've ever had of this city. Like I just moved here. I'm scared.
We went like
I don't know anything.
Blocks. We went
and
3 blocks.
It was so far, Kevin. Yeah.
Are you kidding?
It was so far.
You remember where we went, right? We went to. Didn't we go to Steak and Shake?
Yeah, it was good.
But that's like 3 blocks away from my mom's
Didn't
house.
feel like it. Didn't feel like it.
It feels like an eternity when you're sitting in Kevin's car. Yeah. But yeah, like I'm terrible. Like my personality can't like. Feels like it needs to be in control, and that's why I'm terrible on airplanes as well. Which is I'm counting down the days that we have to fly to RTX. Like I'm excited for RTX in and of itself, but I'm fucking dreading that flight.
I used to have a very similar issue. Yeah. I really did. That was what I think really kind of was behind a lot of my claustrophobia, because I used to have issues in elevators and on planes, and a lot of that stemmed from like needing to be able to control a situation.
Yep.
And now I don't have that anymore. Largely, I credit jiu-jitsu to that a lot, because I've been time and time again forced myself into situations now where you just can't get out, and so you just learn to live in the chaos of you just learn to live in being in a spot where you can't control, and you just let go.
That's what. Yeah, I've had those same problems.
And it's really cool.
That's why I had problems with like I was always the guy who never smoked weed. Again, like obviously,
you're better than me and Barrett. I get it.
No, but I was the one who would whenever I would
computering.
You're useless. Whenever I would, it was always my friends are always like, "Oh shit, Andy's gonna smoke." Like it was always one of those. It was gonna be a good night. Yeah, and so I would smoke like maybe twice a month, maybe like every other weekend. My friends would maybe have weed, and they'd always like smoke and like pass it me as if like, and they knew I wasn't gonna take it.
They're trying to enable you.
Yeah, they would always like it's a very Mexican, very Latino thing or whatever.
No, it's a very dude.
But eventually, when I did do it, they'd be like, "Oh shit, fucking Andy" or whatever.
Yeah. Just shut up.
But then there was a moment where I had a panic attack, and a lot of it was largely based off of I remember there was an old Santa bit that Louis C.K. did. Rest in peace, Louis C.K.
He's still around.
Nah, we canceled him though. So
he's still around. Yeah, no one told him that though. He's still out there.
Anyway,
he just did the San Jose Improv and sold it out. So.
He had a bit where he was talking about smoking weed and how when he smoked this sort of new age weed that he was not used to, and he was like, and immediately my brain was like, "Oh my, you're stuck here for the next 2 hours. There's nothing you can do about it." Yep. And I had that same moment where I had this panic attack, and I was like, I'm stuck in this frame of mind. There's nothing I can do.
Nothing you do.
And I had the same feeling I've had the same feeling on flights before, where like I'm just on this flight, and there's nothing that I can change about that. You know,
and I think that's really hard. I mean, that's definitely I've had issues dealing with that in the past as well, which is just. And I understand why people would have that reaction, and I've never had that specific reaction to weed. I've had the reaction of. Okay, how long is this going to last for? Because again, up until that point, the majority of my experience with like substances has been alcohol, and I know, like, I can just feel how to control the alcohol a little bit better. Because if you don't, what would happen is, for me, it would go, oh, I had one, I'll just throw up, and immediately throw up, and then I immediately feel better, or it's fine. But with weed, it was always like, I don't know how long this shit's going to last, whatever. So I can totally sympathize with having that level of anxiety with it,
and that's why
I will not do hard drugs.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's why I took the advantage. I'm happy I took the advantage of my youth in high school before all that shit happened as much as I did. Because I tried things and I don't need to ever do it again. I'm totally cool.
I'll tell you, I'm fascinated by harder drugs. Not, I mean, the drugs that, because like you see the news, like mushrooms and things like that are starting to become legalized in places.
Yeah, I just heard about it, like in Colorado.
Colorado legalized them. I think another state did as well.
I think like California is like close to.
Oakland's trying to.
I think Oakland was trying to, which is cool because there's a lot of people talk about there's potential medicinal benefits to a lot of these psychotropic drugs out there that we need to be researching and get to market, similar to how there are a lot of medicinal uses for marijuana. I can't speak to either of those because I don't really use either of those for medicinal purposes, but I think it's really fascinating. Having said that, when I hear people's experience about these things, I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Never gonna do this shit. How long does it last? It can last anywhere from an hour to a day. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not, no. I don't want to see hypocolors and talk to God for a whole fucking day. What are we gonna talk about? 80s movies? I guess we could talk about that for 24 hours. That's pretty good.
You want to do some shrooms while watching the original like remake of Planet of the Apes? No. It's a fucking terrible idea. I don't want to do that. So yeah, don't ever do that.
No, sure. Like the idea of all that stuff just I'm like, I don't know that I need that in my life. But I don't know, who knows? Maybe that's a way to get over my control complex.
But the thing that I found is that the thing that lets me let go of that is alcohol in like the adult age. Like when I was not binge drinking as you do in high school.
You tend to, you don't know your limits, or you don't know that's a bad thing to do.
Exactly. Yeah. So when I found like beer that I actually liked, thanks to Kevin actually, who gave me a Shock Top, which was like the first beer that I ever actually kind of enjoyed.
Is that a Hefeweizen?
What is it?
Shock Top is like a Blue Moon.
Yeah, it's like wheat beer. Okay.
And then like through that, I started going down the rabbit hole of finding like the actual beers that I like. So it is actually like a different path that I have found and know the limits on and stuff, but it does weirdly enough like let me let go of the need to control something.
Well, I think there might be something to the fact that you found something that you enjoy the taste of,
right?
And so you can enjoy it on a different level. And that's honestly been one of the main reasons why I don't think I've ever had an issue with alcohol and with marijuana, because I've never enjoyed the feeling of marijuana. I actually now get to the point where I like the smell. It's legal here in California, so people are smoking it everywhere, and I kind of like, oh, that's kind of a nice smell.
Yeah.
But with alcohol, I'm just very fortunate in that I've never had a drink that I thought to myself, like a pure alcohol or beer, any distilled liquid, that I tasted and went, this tastes fantastic. Like, I still think everything that I still think that alcohol is a joke that the whole world's playing on me. Like, everyone goes away when I'm not looking and they go, he's gonna fucking drink it. He's gonna drink it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look, he's gonna drink it. Oh shit. You know, like bourbon, I'm like,
Yeah, there used to be a point where I didn't understand the addiction to the feeling of getting drunk. I never, like when I was younger, much younger, and I remember hearing about non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
I remember hearing it. I was like, why don't you just drink non-alcoholic beer? Like I always thought that, like, yeah, sure, but it's like, no, it's the addiction to the feeling.
Yeah,
so Barrett, so you're saying that alcohol like helps you through stuff, and that reminded me of Mitch Hedberg joke where he's like,
give it to me.
Where he's don't endorse alcoholism.
Where he's like, alcohol. He's like, I don't like when people say alcohol is a crutch, because a crutch helps you walk.
That is a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Alcohol is more like a step that I didn't see.
I want to just bring up there was an image going around on Twitter yesterday, I think, or maybe 2 days ago, where it was like retweet this or respond to this with like a childhood picture of you that like exudes like who you are today. And I responded with a tweet of baby me drinking a beer, but it was an empty glass. I just want to make that clear. I did not say that in the tweet, but
that was for the Instagram gold.
Yeah.
I mean, I do feel obligated at this point to tell people, if they're out there listening, you should use these substances responsibly.
Yeah, and it's all in like moderation and finding out like what your limit is and who you are and where you are in your life.
We're not. I want to make it clear, we are not condoning underage use of any of these things. Please don't break the law. I really only have a couple rules when it comes to living your life. One, don't hurt anyone, including yourself. That includes yourself.
Yep.
And don't break the law.
Gotcha.
That's really it. Like, just be responsible, everyone, and make sure that you're not putting anyone's life or any laws in jeopardy. Please, for me.
I absolutely know my limits. Where it's like I will only not know my limits if I'm drinking something.
Is the third rule.
If I'm drinking something that I'm not familiar with, where like I know when I'm about to get drunk. I know where it's like, all right, if you drink one more, you're probably gonna be past the level where you might want to vomit or whatever.
Let's get you there at RTX.
Let's do it.
No, because I just stopped because I don't want to feel that way.
I know.
You know? I don't want to, like, being hungover is one thing, but like being blackout and vomiting, like,
it's not fun.
I did that twice, and I'm like, I don't ever want to do that again. Yeah. But one time that it blindsided me was champagne at a New Year's Eve party.
Bubbles will fuck you up.
I had no idea I felt like
the carbonation.
I felt like I had just barely drinking a few things, and then immediately I'm like, oh my God, like, where am I now? Like,
now I don't know if this is actually scientifically accurate, but they attribute the drunkenness you get with champagne to the carbonation, which apparently helps enter your bloodstream faster, and the sugar. The sugar will fuck you up because it maybe it dehydrates you more.
Right. Yeah, it's exactly right.
Yeah, so you got to be real careful with sugary stuff. Having said that, the only drinks I can have these days
are sugary
ones.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
I don't mean like crappy sugar because I've been at bars where I'm like, let me order a Moscow Mule, and it's like the Moscow Mule sauce, and I just want to throw up immediately. Like they have the pre-made shit. No,
nah,
it needs to be
it needs to be like the actual made.
No, I'm
Moscow
fine with the
Mule.
Moscow Mule, but it needs to be like like I used to just, you guys know, you've listened to me hours and hours just ripping on craft cocktails.
Blackout.
That's fair.
Okay.
But I used to just fucking hate these places you'd go where you'd order a drink and it would take 15 minutes for the guy to make, and there'd be like fire involved and like magic, and a fucking pigeon would come out, and the guys they're always wearing suspenders.
Yes,
you know?
3 snakes.
Nick, remember that one
got a
place we
big
went
beard.
to where it's like, yeah, can I order an old fashioned? They're like, well, no, that's not how we do drinks. What are you feeling right now?
Yeah.
And it
they
was like,
they gave you drinks
that
based on what you drink.
legitimately happened.
That man.
We won't say the name of
My
it, but
response is an old fashioned.
yeah, I feel like an old fashioned. But I'll tell you one thing right now, I have turned a corner on those.
Oh Lord.
Not because I'm into it, but because I think it was Coin Op. Was that you remember that Coin Op place we went for for Ransky's?
Ransky's
I
going
went in the
party.
corner,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm into it.
No, not because I want to be like, oh, I'm into craft cocktails. Where are my suspenders? Somebody order me a pair of suspenders and let me have a ponytail.
Talk bad about suspenders. Or ponytails.
I'm not going to talk bad about either of those things because I've worn both of those looks in my life. What I will say is this: the different in my older
I feel like you
age,
can though because you've done it.
It's true.
You know what I
Everyone
mean?
knows
There
that
you
I had a Steven Seagal style ponytail.
It's like when
all throughout
people
high
say
school.
like, "Oh, I'm a fat person. I can make fun of fat people," or "I used to be fat," or whatever.
Yeah, you can't though. People don't like it. Because
Kevin gets mad at you when you
I had
do
a
it.
solid 5 minutes about that, and it just never worked. Well, I was like, I used to be a fat person. Can I make fun of fat people? And the audience was like, yeah, why not? And the joke was always like, no, you're wrong. That was a test, and you totally failed. You can't make fun of people, period. But it never worked. I never figured out how to make it work. I'm going to keep going on it, though. Long story short is I've turned a corner on the craft cocktails because now in my elevated age, I don't want to waste time with shitty cocktails. Because you go from being mildly drunk to sick quicker with the shitty cocktails. Now I want something that has good ingredients, like a good, a higher end liquor and purer, like fresher juices, things like that. I feel like I just feel better, and I can have 1 to 2 more than I would and not feel like shit the next day.
There you go.
But so like when we go to RTX, I got to be careful because some of the bars that the parties at are just like normal like tourist bars,
Right?
Where it's like, hey, this is a 6th Street bar. We're gonna just pour shit well down your throat, and I just feel bad like that.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a good craft cocktail in Austin, Texas. That's what I'm gonna try to find.
I'm really
Respond
excited.
in the YouTube comments below a good craft cocktail place.
Preferably
in
someplace
Austin.
within walking distance of the Expo Center because Daddy's not trying to take an Uber anywhere.
Don't make Daddy take an Uber.
Don't call him daddy. You're making it worse.
Call me
Ishmael.
Papi Chulo.
Total non sequitur. Totally
That's fine.
changed the subject.
We've
We'll talk
I think the
about alcohol.
topic.
Isn't that what this show
I
is?
think the topic of this podcast is going to be how to throw an underage party when your parents go out of town. So that's going to be fun. So we talked enough about that because Kevin's always like, we're like, what did we talk about? Oh, we talked about shoes. Kevin's like, you talked about shoes for 5 seconds. You can't call it the shoe podcast. We talked for 45 minutes about how to party behind your parents' back.
There you go.
I think this is going to be good.
I got back at Todd over the weekend. All right, y'all may remember from the last episode.
Tell me about
I went
Todd.
to go play basketball, and I was gassed the second game. And
You're out of
our
shape
team
and not
lost
good at
real
basketball.
bad. And Todd was like, "Hey, congrats, other team! You beat us playing 3v2."
Yeah, it's really a dick move,
Oof.
Todd.
And I was like, "Fuck you."
Can we figure out Todd's
I'm
last name
tired.
so we can put him on blast? Is that legal?
Anyway, went
Is
back
Todd,
out.
Is it Todd from Breaking Bad?
No.
Does he look as dumb as that guy?
That guy's
No,
a
a
great
little
actor, though.
Went back out there on Saturday. Cool, Greg.
Yeah.
And I just want you to. This,
Cool Greg,
this
come-
story's mostly for Cool
come
Greg.
sit here for this.
This is my redemption story right here at Cool Greg. I only played one game, granted, because I knew I'm gonna be gassed the second game.
Yeah, you're gonna get winded.
So I'm just gonna play one game because fuck the second game, right? Cool, Greg. First game, I go out there and they're playing a game, and I'm waiting on the sidelines. I'm just getting my dribbles in. Cool, Greg. I'm getting my shots up, right? Just trying to practice. And they're like, "All right, you want in?" They're like, "All right, let's see, shoot for teams or whatever." So I shot, and they're like, "All right, you got Pizza Boy."
Is your name Pizza Boy?
They call me Pizza Boy because I was wearing my DiGiorno hoodie.
Fuck yes.
And
That's a great
and then
nickname.
one of the guys was like, "Oh shit, it's because he's wearing a DiGiorno hoodie." I thought you were just being super racist. Like I thought like you were like he was like I thought you were just calling Pizza Boy because he looked Italian or some shit like that. And they're like, no, we had a fun time. Maybe Todd kind of redeemed himself with that joke. It was a funny thing, whatever.
Okay.
And we get in there, Cool Greg, and we're going to 11. We're playing full court, and it's exhausting because running full court is fucking exhausting. And immediately they pass me the ball, and they're like, "Shoot it, you're open." drain it. I mean, what am I supposed to do except drain the damn basketball? 2-0 immediately, cool, Greg. And then I get another pass, 4-0. I'm 2 for 2 right now. Get a little easy layup, 5 points for me. You know what I mean? 3 for 3 shooting.
Dude, you're like Kawhi or something like.
And then another 2-pointer for 7 points total. I end the game with 7 points. We win like 11-3. And everybody's mad at me and stuff because I'm just like, I just came in here and hopped in and started schooling these dudes. And they're like, all right, game 2. I was like, I gotta go, man. I got stuff to do.
Yeah.
But I was just so fucking tired, dude. Because I knew that if I tried to play a second game, no chance in hell. So I put on my Instagram, like, fuck you, Todd. Like, we got you back.
Yeah.
After you talk shit to me, I carried the whole damn team. And I just felt great about it.
I want to...
on your team?
No, he was on the other squad.
I want to, like, come with you on these basketball adventures. Not to, like... To play like kind of like whatever basketball with you, but to also just like watch the team like matches here.
So I asked him, one of the other guys, I was like, so do you all come out here? You all come out here every Saturday. That's what you told me last time. But like, how long have you been doing this for? And he was like 12 years. I was like, holy shit. I was like, wow. He was like, yeah, pretty much all of us. Like there hasn't really been anybody that's come and gone and like moved away. Like we've all known each other for a long time. It's all these like upper 30s, lower 40s dudes that play basketball every Saturday, and they're all like pretty decent. You could tell they played like in high school and shit like that.
Right.
But yeah, I was like, holy shit! I was like, wow, that's a long time. He was like, yeah, we've been doing this for quite a while. So every Saturday they're out there like at noon. So that's where I'll be. That's where you can find me every Saturday.
There you go.
If you want to catch these handles, you know.
There was nothing I felt prouder of. Like my dad tried so hard to get me into basketball. Like the one thing that stuck was baseball. But I'd still like go out and like play basketball with him, and then he would go in to like get picked for these pickup games because people would like watch him like play and be like, I got that guy and shit. Yeah. There's nothing that made me prouder like when that would happen. So I want to like just join you to like hang out and be like, yeah, that's
Daddy Courtney. Daddy Courtney.
No, Mr. Barrett.
Mr. Barrett. Mr. Barrett.
Yeah. Don't call him Daddy Courtney.
Nick, I just want to update you. I kicked ass on Saturday. We got back at Todd.
Fucking Todd.
I'm very glad to hear that because I know that had been weighing on you.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot. I've been thinking about it a lot. Went out there. I shot 4-4 from the field for 7 points.
So you guys win?
We won 11-3, I think.
Dude, burn blue.
That was great, dude. Burn blue, dude.
Todd.
Speaking of burn blue, Dallas Fuel, not looking good. Not looking good. I tried a new pizza over the weekend.
Yeah.
Tell me about this place.
So this is...
Sorry, what's the name of the place?
The name of the place is Pizza Oki.
Is it a karaoke place?
It is owned by... it is created and owned by Steve Aoki's family.
No shit.
Did you know Steve Aoki's family made Benihana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until this weekend.
Wasn't that not a Facts of the Furious that was brought up?
Possibly. No, I thought it was about the sister.
Yeah, but I feel like that was also brought up.
Benihana's brought up. I don't know. Anyway, so
Did they get in a lot of trouble for something?
Did they?
One of their partners or something?
The CEO, I think, got in trouble. It was around the same time of... I don't know. They talked about it in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's a good movie.
Great movie.
So I tried out Pizza Oki. It's late at night. I'm doing a long ass stream. I just finished I finally finished. Remember for our fundraiser on Patreon
for January,
we had like 3 different. There was 3 different people that won auction bids to have me draw them or whatever. I finally finished the final one. I was working all that. Matt from Rhode Island wanted me to draw him as Space Ghost, so I was working and
coast
did
to
that.
Coast, baby.
Yeah,
it was dope. And then I was like, oh, it's time for food, right? I'm done with this drawing. It's time for food. I'm gonna order food and then play a game afterwards. And I'm looking, and I was like, holy shit! I forgot that I meant to order from Pizza Oki the other day. And I looked it up, and so Pizza Oki was created by, I guess, his family or whatever. And it's only in Los Angeles, but they just opened up a pop-up shop here in San Francisco.
That's cool.
So I ordered from Pizza Oki. The pizza gets here. Barrett gets it for me because
our bedroom is like right next to the...
I'm aware, yeah.
And
you guys are the ones closest to the door.
And the frustrating thing lately with these fucking like deliveries is they always do like a tiny knock. Like a tiny... So like I wait a little bit and I try to...
I'm really good about looking at like, let me go get it or whatever.
But like every once in a while it'll just be like the tiniest knock where I'll hear it and I'll wait because I'm like... Typically it's
real?
like a Grubhub or like no, I'll know it's real, but I'll like, all right, someone else is ordering food, so I'll wait, and then when I don't hear someone like get out of the rooms to go get it after 30 seconds, I'll like, all right, I'll go get it. And so, sorry to really quick, I did that for you for the Steve Aoki pizza place.
Steve Aoki showed up.
Yeah.
But I also by his sister's name was it like Suki Aoki?
Yeah. But I also got fucking tricked yesterday, where it happened again yesterday, and I thought like, oh, someone else ordered food, and I opened the door. It's fucking Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about when I got locked out.
Oh no,
because I locked myself out. Anyway, pizza gets here. And
now what are we talking about? Pan pizza, thin pizza?
Yeah, what type?
It's like definitely not pan. It's definitely not pan.
I'm tired of, by the way, I'm tired of people not doing pan pizza.
I mean, I've had enough of pan.
It's a fair stance.
Because everyone, I feel like it's so easy. It's economical to do this thin crust bullshit pizza. You get
what's wrong with thin crust?
Get out of here,
it's all okay.
Don't shame any pizza. All right.
I'm going to tell you what's wrong with thin crust. It's not structurally. It doesn't have the structural integrity enough to hold all my fucking pineapple that I want to put on top of that pizza.
Come on, Nick. Come on. You don't mean that.
I don't want pineapple pizza, but if the pineapple pizza's there, Barrett and I call it dessert pizza. You have a couple slices of real pizza, and then you know what? You know what? I'm gonna have a pineapple pizza.
That's the main course for me. I high-fived him for the pineapple on pizza, not for shaming pizza in general, because you don't shame any pizza, because pizza everywhere is loved by someone.
No.
So anyway. Let me get fucking back to the review.
Let me clarify my stance on this thin crust bullshit. I actually like thin crust pizza, but I like pan pizza more. I get so much thin crust in the city because nobody does a thicker crust here. Right. So my options are always either a thin crust or like, the New York style crust where you have to bend the fucking thing and fold it, otherwise it goes limp dick on you.
So good.
That's always fun because it's late night, whatever. So it's either that or you get a deep dish. But I want like a pan, thicker, nice slice.
Via 313, baby.
That's why I'm saying Andy and Nick eat a pizza via 313 in Austin this week.
Okay.
Next week.
I'm in.
Okay.
So the pizza Oki arrives. I open the box and it's smelling delicious. And I take a bite, and it is by far the best late night delivery pizza I have ordered.
Son of a bitch.
Okay, so what type of pizza are we talking here?
I posted a photo of it on Instagram. It's hard to describe.
Kevin, can we bring up this Instagram?
It looks like just like a hand.
This is making me really hungry right now.
What toppings are we talking about specifically?
Oh, I just go basic pep.
Pineapple.
I go basic pep.
You can't ever go wrong with basic pep.
Yeah.
No, and so I had a rant about this. I had a fucking rant about this, and on Twitter. Sorry, Kev. I put it on Twitter.
I will say
My
that.
bad.
Look at me looking at that fucking balling out right there.
Look at you balling out, dude.
So cool.
No one can see
look
you.
at our little son, Link.
It's so pretty.
Look at that. Look at Andrea.
Now we're just looking at
Twitter.
Yeah,
you guys stop talking all the time.
Bring it up so people can enjoy
Look at
it.
Kevin going through Twitter.
He's killing
There
it.
we
He's
go.
killing
There we
it.
go. Where have we got here? What is
close.
it? Oh, that's great.
There's
Back from Rhode
the
Island.
drink.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
See, that's what I'm talking
good.
about. That's a nice thickness.
You know
to
what's
that
going on
pizza.
here that I really like?
What's up?
A lot of red sauce.
Yeah, there you go.
Kevin.
I fucking love that too.
I am not exaggerating, Kevin. It is the best red sauce I've had in San Francisco.
Holy shit.
In San Francisco. I don't want to, whatever. But
that's still exciting.
I love red sauce.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I love when you take a bite and there's that tang to it.
Yes.
Like twang, Kevin.
This is exciting shit, dude.
It is,
I know what you're talking about.
there it is. Yeah, look, there it is.
He looks like a psychopath, though.
Steve Aoki's one of those guys that I just don't think I'll ever get. I understand.
The same, but I respect him. You know?
I respect the game, but he's like, but there was a time in my life where I just didn't want to believe that being a professional DJ was like a thing people could do.
He was the first one I feel like who proved it in my eyes, at least.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's great, and I'm sure there's going to be a small contingent of people listening to this podcast who are like, Steve Aoki's the best thing ever made. But I just never, I never really got
and
that.
they know what they're doing because they're branding it with him everywhere.
Oh, he's not.
Dude,
they're not dumb. They're certainly not putting his sister's unsuccessful mug on that thing.
Whoa,
She's been in like one movie.
Man,
Oh man,
show me.
but it's a great movie.
Kevin, so they did
it's like
not.
when they made Wahlburgers, did they put fucking the third Wahlberg on there? No, they put Donnie. Yeah, Bob Wahlberg. They put Mark and they put Donnie,
Bob
and that was
Wahlberg.
it.
Who's Donnie Wahlberg?
Donnie Wahlberg from New Kids on the Block, bro.
From
Wait,
Saw.
that wasn't the one Wahlberg that we always know?
No.
Mark Wahlberg is the one we always know. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm Mark Wahlberg. I'm talking to this
Marky
thing.
Mark,
Is this
man.
Mike? Can you
Danny,
hear my voice?
Donnie was from New Kids on the Block. Anyway.
Wait, isn't Marky
Also
Mark?
at Sixth Sense. He was the
Also?
killer in Sixth Sense.
What?
Marky Mark, is that not?
That's
Marky Mark
Wahlberg.
is Mark Wahlberg.
He's not from New Kids on the Block.
No, Donnie Wahlberg.
Donnie Wahlberg was, and then they were like, "Oh
Okay,
my
I know
God,
him.
there's a younger, better looking version. Let's market him as a
Donnie
hip-hop star."
Wahlberg was in
and he was
Saw
Marky
2.
Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Remember Saw 2, Kev?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Donnie.
I think he's on a TV show, right? He's actually had a very good career.
He's
very good career.
He's got like
respect Donnie.
He's got like the Chicago PD scene.
Yeah. The TV. Yeah.
This is beautiful.
So I really appreciated the bread. The breading, the crust was fantastic.
This looks like we used to make a boompas.
But dude, the fucking sauce.
You can't make up words.
They didn't skimp on the sauce, and it was so tangy, and I loved it.
I like a sharpness to that.
Should we order one
the pizza
right now?
sauce?
I think we should, Kevin. So, like, I will definitely be ordering this over Pasquale's. Maybe not Pasquale's.
Pasquale's is good.
Definitely Donairo's. Definitely.
Really? You were swearing up and down the block about Donairo's.
I just
got on that train too.
I will absolutely pick this over any other spot, and it was also fairly cheap. Like a little 12-inch, like kind of small, maybe medium size or whatever. It was like $11, $12, something like that.
When you order pizza, do you ever think I should get two?
No.
All the time.
Because usually when I'm ordering pizza, it's always a night that Alyssa's out. So it's like if I get two, I am like shit. Like
I mean,
but here's the thing. But you always get tempted when you're looking at the Pizza Hut website and you're desperate, and it's like 2 mediums for $8, and you're like, holy shit,
I gotta get that.
I guess
it comes with 2 liter of RC Cola.
I'm getting
you're like, I want it.
And sometimes Alyssa feels trashy enough that she will do that, and so like, we'll fuck up 2 mediums
every once in a while when my wife is
delicious,
like,
dude.
I will get pizza.
Next time you're feeling pizza, you gotta let me know because I gotta start adventuring with you. So like I gave up for a while on San Francisco pizza.
No, I mean like I'm a lover of all pizza. I'm never the type to like, shame cities for their pizza. Like I feel like if you look hard enough, you'll find a pizza that you enjoy or whatever, or that's still good. Yeah. I happen to like a lot of pizzas, but here's what I was fucking. I had a little rant. All right.
Give me a little.
Here's what happens. Here's what happens.
That would be, by the way, if you were a hip hop artist, that's what your name would be. Lil Rant.
Lil Rant.
Lil Rant.
How do you feel about that?
Cool
Lil Rant Uzi Vert Shotgun X.
Lil Rant.
Here's my problem with working at companies that order pizza.
Good.
Yeah.
Working at companies that order pizza, and maybe I'm not talking about Kind of Funny. I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm also talking about Rooster Teeth. Maybe I'm also talking about every other place I've ever fucking worked.
Yeah.
Okay.
That orders pizza, right? I'm a basic guy.
Yeah.
I love pepperoni.
Just get pep. There's never enough pep.
Give me pep.
Never enough pep.
Here's what fucking happens, Kevin.
Guys,
you're going to agree with me on this, Kevin.
Guys, are we getting a 12-inch right now, or what's up?
It's really small. Like, that's
what I'm saying. You need really 2. Small. Get 5 12 inches.
Get an 18-inch.
Get 16 inches.
I'm sitting right here.
Yeah.
Do it, Kev.
Kevin,
fucking trigger.
Kevin, you're gonna
stop being a fucking coward to order the pizza.
You're gonna agree with me on this.
Do you actually want me to order the pizza?
I'm leaving after this. You guys can do whatever you want.
He's never down.
Do it.
I'm trying to get fit for RTX.
You'll be on the boat with me on this one, Kevin.
I'm listening, bro.
So here's what happens at companies when they order pizza.
I hate this.
Everybody wants pepperoni.
That's all people
Everybody
want.
loves pepperoni.
Then there's people who don't eat pep.
That's all I want. That's all I want.
Nobody wants.
And then it's like, what should we order? We'll get 3 larges. What should we order? For me, it's like, get 3 pep. Get 2 pep.
Yep.
But here's what happens.
Extra, yeah.
Here's what happens. It's 1 extreme meat lovers stuff. It's 1 supreme and it's 1 pep. But then here's what fucking happens. At the end of the day, the pep is all gone and there's half supreme and there's 3/4 left of the meat lovers. Yeah. And it's like, I'm the only one who wanted all pep. And you guys just taking all the pep from me.
Don't take the pep from him.
You know what I mean?
Don't take his pep.
Andy, here's the thing. Okay? I'm the one that ate all the Supreme, and guess what? Now I have Supreme for tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Dude.
Yeah, but that's fucking bullshit. But would you be okay with only pep? Of course you would. So just get the pep.
No, I like a little shit. Like, personally, my favorite pizza, pepperoni, sausage, onion, bell pepper.
Ew, that's a good combo.
No pepperoni. It's just sausage, onion, bell pepper.
Ew.
Why?
You don't fuck with the bell pepper?
No, fuck all that up.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. To Andy's point, you're gonna order a large one of those, and you're the only one that likes it, and then I'm gonna go, God, you know what I really want?
Just pepperoni.
I'm gonna have this inner monologue that I have with myself every time we order pizza here. I'm like, don't eat the pizza. Fuck it. I'm gonna eat a piece of pizza, and then I get off, once I'm off that wagon, I go, you know what I really want? Another piece of pet pizza. And so I go back in there, and you know what's left? That fucking abomination of a pizza that Kevin just talked about.
No, dude, that's
where it's like, it's fine if that was my second slice, but it can't be my last slice.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying, dude.
I order my pizza, somebody orders a pepperoni, and then someone else orders some fucking stupid ass chicken pizza that nobody wants.
That's what I'm saying.
It's always Greg.
It's annoying, dude.
I eat my fucking pizza
bullshit
all the time.
I see you load up, you got 2 pieces of your pizza, and you throw a piece of pepperoni on top of that, and you go, what? and you walk by me.
I've never said what.
Fine. Next time we eat.
I'm not ashamed of what I'm doing.
Yeah, he does because I look at him super judgy. I'm like, Kevin, and he goes, what? And he walks by. I'm telling you this right now. Okay, here's the deal.
At the end of the day, I look and it's like I had 2 slices, and now all the fucking pep is gone.
No, pep is always the first thing to go. Okay, here's the thing: if you're gonna venture out, here's what you do. You go, how many people are here? Okay, we've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 of us in the office right now. Joey didn't bother showing up to work today. Whatever. We'll talk shit about her when she comes back tomorrow. Oh, no, she's fine.
She drove down from Sacramento today.
Yeah, she was with her parents. She had a legit excuse. We're still gonna talk shit about her when she comes tomorrow.
What, I mean,
a car.
There's 5 of us here.
Exploded in her car. Did you see?
I saw that. The Diet Coke.
That really happened?
Hilarious. Yeah, the heat exploded at I think it was like a 12-pack, wasn't it?
No, I think it was like a single. Yeah. That fucked up her entire car.
So there's 5 of us.
Yeah.
How many pizzas do we order if there's 5 of us?
All right, you always order too many pizzas. Last time, you ordered way too many pizzas.
Okay. So the answer to that.
How many of us were here last time?
Exactly. I'd say for 5 people, 12. If we're doing 12-inch pizzas, we need to get at least 3. So I would say we need to order 5, and here's why: because I need at least 3 peps. And then Kevin can have, then that's fine. So this is what you do. You get ahead of that. That's why I always order too much. I order 3 peps because that's all anyone wants. And then Kevin just wants a taste of the other one.
That's
he doesn't
not
want
true.
the whole thing. Nobody wants
That's not true.
onions on a piece of pizza.
Dude, I'll fuck up a whole other thing.
Yeah.
So we get one stupid fucking let's have fun, it's art pizza or whatever the hell Kevin wants. Then you get a meat lovers pizza because if I go into the back room and there's no pep left, but I see a piece of meat lovers where it's got, Andy, I'm talking about the pepperoni. I'm talking about the
sausage.
The sausage. Yeah. I'm talking about a little bit of the salami or the salumi, like a spicy bigger pep. You know, I'm fine with that. I'm fine if that's my last piece. But if my last piece has some sort of vegetable on it, G to fuck out. Get the fuck out. GTF the fuck out. Okay, get out.
The reason I'm like again, I don't shame people on pizza. Like I respect the pepperoni pizza. Something I find myself, I always get heartburn after having only pepperoni pizza. I don't know, there's something in the pepperoni that might be.
It's like, a lot of spice. Probably a lot of spice.
Yeah. So I feel like you guys are talking about the pepperoni being like your palate cleanser. Like you need to close out the night with a pepperoni pizza.
You start and finish it with pepperoni. Those are bookends.
I'm just saying it's my favorite one. I'm just saying that like when I want to eat pepperoni, I want it to be readily available.
Like, gotcha. I will eat a piece of like supreme pizza. Okay. To do my part because I feel like everyone really just wants the pepperoni pizza. So I'll be like, my second piece, I'll be like, I'll take one for the team because nobody's eating this shitty supreme pizza.
Oh, I am.
And
that's not true. You're thinking of the weird chicken pizza.
Whatever it is, I'll be like, I'll have a piece of this so that everyone can enjoy the pepperoni pizza because that's the only pizza that anyone really fucking wanted to begin with.
Yeah,
Greg Miller.
And Cool Greg is the one who like has to fucking put all these amalgamations of weird combinations. Yeah.
He sees the pizza at the end. It's always the supreme pizza that's over.
Greg's not trying to get into this fight.
The next day, there's a box of pizza in the fridge, and there's 6 slices of supreme and 4 slices of some other bullshit. And where's the pepperoni? It's gone! Because that's all everybody ate!
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today's Kind of Funny podcast. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. If you all out there want to support this podcast, you can go over to patreon.com/kindoffunny and back us really at any of the tiers. We really appreciate you. If you want to do a fan mail tier, you get to interact with the shows. You get to be a Patreon producer. You get to ask questions for Screencast. You get to ask Andy questions for KFAF. Lots of really, really fun things. I would do the rigmarole, but I really can't remember how to go. Even after 5 years, I can't remember how Greg does it.
This table.
We'll do it so everyone can have it, because everyone always complains that I don't do the thing. Yeah. So I'll say, this is the Kind of Funny podcast. If you didn't know, this is where people
each and every week
4, sometimes 3 best friends gather on this table, each just coming with topics about their life, what's going on with their lives for your amusement. Of course, if you guys are watching this and you already bag us on Patreon, you've already done your due diligence, and you want to leave a comment in the comments below, let us know what you used to do when your parents would go out of town, and be graphic. I want you guys to explain every single part about that.
You don't have to be graphic.
Remember, as always,
you had to be graphic.
Okay. If you're going out there having a fun time, please be responsible, drink responsibly, smoke responsibly. Do not do anything irresponsibly. And remember to always have, if you're in an area that doesn't have Uber, a designated driver, because that's still a thing that you should take advantage of.
And then rule 3, don't fuck with me.
Rule 3, wear a condom. Rule 4, don't fuck with me. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. As always, it has been our pleasure to serve you.